Once more, one more. Small one. This one doesn't have a number on it because it was part of put in a bigger box when it was shipped. Back home it is. This is the Buck Godot starter pack. Contains Buck Godot comics 1, 2, 3, and 4. The Smith, there's that Smith graphic novel. Extra large t-shirt, black. And the whole banana poster. A 45 value, all for only $25. Published, well, I don't know, published, but created package by Palliard Press, 1995. This, of course, is from the wild imagination of Phil Foley, who I first discovered by his wonderful Xenophile comics, which are adult. It's not hentai because, one, it's not Japanese, and two, it predates it, I guess. You consider that now, but back then it was just adult, humorous, science fiction, fantasy comics. Brilliant, really, and I might do a video on that later. This is an adult channel, by the way. And I can take it even further. But Xenophile with 3 X's. The brilliance of that, and why you should probably search it out, not just because, if you like that sort of thing. One, yeah, they're funny stories, well done. He would pencil it? No, I believe he would get friends, most of them now Hall of Famers or bold-faced names in comics, but this is back in the 80s, to pencil it, and then he would ink it, I believe. No, it's the other way around. He would pencil it, so they all have the same style, but then the inking would be done by other people, giving it a different, same but different sort of thing. Good stories, all memorable, sexy, fun, cartoony, but that's Phil Foley. Since then, he was a fan artist for a while, won a few fan Hugo Awards through Worldcon and others, fan favorite. He did the first few adaptations of, and I'm blanking on the Robert Asprin series. Damn. Anyway, he since reprinted that. I'll put a link in the description below as I remember it. And then did Xenophile, did the Buck Godot universe sort of thing. Fun stories, by the way. If you have, go search them. Free to everything of this. But he's now most known for is the Agatha Heterodyne Girl Genius webcomic, web graphic novels. Great stuff. I'll put a link to it to the webcomic. What else? What was my train of thought here? But anyway, Buck Godot, Zap Gun for Hire, mercenary, science fiction, humorous. So anyway, I like all of his stuff. He's one of those writers that I will read anything that he writes. I even have his the comics he did for Dragon Magazine. What's New? With Phil and Dixie, I think it is. That's been collected into Squarebound, and I don't even know if he's re-released that at all. It's probably available on his website. It's easy to find. So this, of course, was a box set. So this poster, which I don't think I've ever. Wow, what the hell? Well, this is 1994. The poster's subtitle is "Sometimes You Need the Whole Banana." And this, of course, if you read the book, I forget what this. There's the religious artifact there. The MacGuffin really is what it is, but it's religious. So everybody on the station, variety of cultures, are seeking it out, trying to grab it. And again, in typical fashion, everybody is after him because he has it. Each has a different reason for getting that MacGuffin. Read the books. It's fun stuff. Um, Here is the T-shirt, still mint in a brick. I don't know. I'm not going to wear it. I'm not going to take it out. You can feel the printing, the screen printing still on this. It is, yeah. Again, 1994, signed by the artist, so to speak. And now the comics, which I think I have. I bought singularly. I'm not. And again, I'll put the link in there for all the comics that have been done. And the Buck Godot Zap Good for Hire series. Here's number 1. The cover for number 2, which I guess is his father. And again, number 2. And Palliard Press also published for a while other people's stuff. So here is a Leonard and Larry collection. You will find also there's a series called Xenophile Presents, which are sexy comics by other people. There's a really good one by, I think, Stacy. I don't know her name exactly. Has to do with a volcano gods. Good stuff. There's an example of the sexy he does. Oh, really easy to find and suitable for all ages are his Plastic Man run from the 80s, right around the time of Crisis, and right after Crisis, Stanley and his Monster, which includes a really sexy demon. I hope they collect it again for their kids line. Stanley and his Monster is, again, little kid with his monster. People don't realize it's a monster. They don't see it. If they do see it, they think it's his dog. Big, oversized purple horns. Nice monster. He's a demon, but nice monster. You know, charming book. But his girlfriend shows up from wherever he's from. Heck, I don't know. And there's number 4. And as I mentioned, Phil Foglio's What's New. Those are his dragon cartoons. Dragon Chow, yeah, his dragons. Both the big ones and his small cute ones are wonderful. I believe the MacGuffin, that religious icon everybody's searching for, is called the Winslow. Here we have a wonderful splash page. You can see there's the credits right there. Phil Foglio, inked by Barb Kahlberg, and lettered by Willie Schubert, who did a lot of the lettering for his books. I don't know if he still does. I don't know who does the lettering on Girl Genius. But again, wonderfully detailed, wonderful use of screens. Crazy world building, of course. Crowd scenes. Probably the only people who do crowd scenes better is Sergio Aragones. Also does them faster. Nice lettering too there. So this is issue 4. Again, I don't know if it's ever completed. Excuse me. And the letter column is called Hit or Missive. Eventually, they had a contest called Martian Charades, which I guess people give rules. So, but the official contest ran here. I'm going to read it out loud. Official rules for Martian Charades. Martian Charades is a one game that is universally accepted, enjoyed, and participated in willingly by all members of the Gallifrey. That's the Galactic Union. That's the center of all this trouble. With the singular exception of humanity, of course. Strangely enough, however, it was developed by a human scientist comedian. Most races seem to find human scientists incredibly hilarious. During a casual conversation about the mythical little green men with antennae said to once inhabit the planet Mars, he discovered the so-called Martian gesture, placing one's fist on either side of the head and simultaneously extending both index fingers upwards, was considered universally funny by all races except humans who didn't get it. He was an instant hit. He toured the entertainment spots of the galaxy, and he became wealthy enough to settle down and fund his own researches into whether there were any other gestures that provoked such a universal response. He was successful, and he discovered a whole series of gestures that was accepted as being very funny indeed. To demonstrate his results, he again went on tour and was a huge success despite the fact that he was unable to complete a single show. So caught up were they in the magic of the moment that his audience would begin to participate by copying his actions. This had the surprising effect of making him quite ill, which was considered a spectacular showstopper. You can see how brilliant this. I mean, this is one of his fans writing this, but the series of actions that he had developed not only entertained aliens, but actually made humans ill to watch, especially when a great number of radically different aliens attempted to perform them in unison. Well, kind of like human line dancing. The main objective of the game, okay, whereas the value of this knowledge has yet to be found, a new game spread quickly and became the latest rage throughout the Gallifrey, especially at very dull parties. The main objective of the game is to complete as many of the 23 realistic gestures as possible without cracking up. This is very much like the human game wherein one lies one's head on another's stomach and increasingly says the word ha. The ha game is considered insulting to meaning downright rude by most races. But what the hell do they know? No member of any race other than humanity has ever been able to complete more than 17 of the gestures before collapsing with mirth. Now you might ask, if no race is capable of performing all 23 ritualistic gestures of the charade, then who leads the game? Good question. Humans have been found who possess extremely strong stomachs, as well as a strong greed factor. These are issued a helmet which cuts off both sound and sight without covering the mouth. This does not prevent humans with very good imaginations from becoming sick. In fact, it is considered an important secondary goal to make the human sick. As you might imagine, this makes humans very popular at parties, and many an unsuspecting human has discovered too late that the evening's entertainment begins with them. Traditionally, the first gesture is the Martian. The remaining 22 gestures, as well as the finer points of scoring and cleanup, are listed in Hoyle's Rules for Games for All Races, submitted by Michael J. DeVore from Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. Now, okay, those are the 4 comics. Each a $3 value. So that's $12 right there from the comic. That's half the price of this. All right. Now, buried in the bottom. And I have a copy of this elsewhere, I think. And again, I believe this has been reprinted in hardcover by, not Xenophile Press. They're not going by that now. I think it's Foglio Press. Or Airship Entertainment, maybe? Anyway. Back in the 80s, when graphic albums were all the rage, one of the next hot thing in book selling. A company called Starblaze Graphics, part of the Downing Company, Norfolk, Virginia, which is no longer around. I think they did a lot of history books. But for a while, they published comics. And some very good ones, too. They did the original ElfQuest collections. Distant Soil by Colleen Duran and other things. I don't know if there's a concise list. This is ISBN. If you want to look it up, put it in the description. 089-865-4599. Originally retailed for $7.95 in the United States. This is the second volume. And here's the blurb. Starblaze Graphics presents the second volume in the continuing adventures of Buck Godot, the man who's always available but never free. This time out, Buck is in the middle of Al's romance and the hire a mysterious employer in the sights of a dead drunk who won't stay dead. Science Fiction Chronicle, Comics Buyer's Guide, and the Comics Journal all give blurbs. I've read this, now I remember this. Al is the alien bar owner who falls in love. Of course, true to love never runs smooth. Julie Sesney, that's who did the other one. She did the colors with Phil Fogley on this. Kay Reynolds was the editor, who I hear is not a nice person to know. From what I've heard, never met her. Don't know what she's doing now. And what's nice about this is you have this wonderful fictional encyclopedia introduction at the beginning. Look at that by Olga Livy. Antarctic Subterranean Nation, Hoffmanites. The Horror of New Eden. Which alone, the text alone is just fun to read. And here is the splash page. What is he complaining about? Asteroids Al's is closed. And here we see Al in his new lady love. Al's is where Buck Godot hangs out. Wonderful scenes of aliens such as this. As you can see, just by looking at this, the writing, tons of writing, great dialogue. Screwball comedy, I guess you could say. New Hong Kong. And I believe the rule of New Hong Kong is each new planet has a set of rules that slowly get activated by the citizens. By elections. New Hong Kong sidesteps that by saying their first rule was there would be no laws. So, very free society. All sorts of things can happen. So let's see. Oh. Here's a great example of the coloring and the lettering. This is 1980s, remember. This is, what, 87? 1987, first printing. All sorts. Of course, Phil Folio comes outside the traditional superhero tradition of comics. He's independent, and so his layout, his storytelling is very unusual. Graphic album changes also allows more freedom for storytelling, as does a nice glossy paper, as you saw with the coloring. And there's a wonderful double cross at the end once the MacGuffin is found. 72 pages of story. So, again, highly recommended. Read all this stuff, depending on what you like. Girl Genius is a wonderful steampunk adventure. You can read it, again, I'll post the link below to the webcomic. You can binge read that while you're in isolation or avoiding the reality, the new reality. I don't know if he's digitized any of his other stuff. Xenophile, again, is adult only. Good stuff, though, and you'll find a lot of interesting creators in those comics. And fun stories, really fun stories. He did, actually, I don't think he's going to do a collection. Probably his kids are done with college. But there were, I think, 13 issues, comic book issues. Then they did a series of 5 collections, square-bound collections, which I think have 4 stories in them, plus an original 5th story. And I believe the last issue of that series, of that reissued, repackaged, is a blank, fill-in-the-blank comic. Of that he is this crazy story shown. Pictures are there, word balloons are there, but you fill in the blanks. So, good stuff. Usually the new stories are sequels to stuff that appeared earlier, which is nice to see those characters reappear. But yeah, I hope I've been recording. 21 minutes, that one little box. Good stuff, great guy. Oh, his other thing, his other claim to fame, and this goes back to Girl Genius. When the Hugo Awards, about, I want to say 8 years ago, when Worldcon was in Montreal, they initiated the graphic novel Hugo Award. I believe the rules at the time, I think, had to be at 2. The award had to be given out twice before it became permanent, which it did. He won, I believe, the first 3 awards. First 3 years was Girl Genius. He then took himself out of contention so others could win it. Since then, Monstrous from Image has won it 4 times in a row now. So that's another one to read. I have the omnibus, got it signed from both the creators at New York Comic Con last year. That's on my to-read list at some point. Very good, I've heard, though, from other people. I better go back to my secret identity here. Yes. So that's that. And again, thanks for watching. Eventually, I'll probably publicize these live streams and maybe let you guys chat along with me. So, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye. Do not pick your nose while you're waiting for the camera to end.